Okay, great.
We're live.
Flag, in the absence of flag, always face the left.
Right, by the courthouse.
It is 12:08 and we are ready to roll with you all.
All right, thank you, Chair. The Economic Development Committee is now in session. Will the clerk please conduct the roll call for us?
Absolutely. Commissioner Greg Young.
Present.
Commissioner John Atkins is absent. Commissioner Ed Lazarus.
Here.
Commissioner Victor Thomas.
Here.
Commissioner John Paul Young.
Here.
Commissioner Roy Burrell.
Here.
Commissioner Ron Coughlin.
Here.
And Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts.
Present.
Okay, you have 7 of 8 committee members present. Additionally, we do also have Commissioners Everson and Blake in attendance today, who are not on the committee but are here participating in the meeting today. And I do believe I forgot to say, but we do have a quorum.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And Commissioner Thomas has agreed to do our invocation, and Commissioner Burrell has agreed to do the pledge of allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to gather here today. I pray that this meeting is fruitful. We thank you for the thoughts and the minds that are assembled here today, dear God. I hope that something that is said today will contribute to the economic growth of our parish and our people. In your Son, Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Veterans and active military members, saluting during this recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance would be appreciated. Should you wish to do so, all others please recite with your hands over your heart, and we ask that everyone remember our POWs and MIAs.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Jeff, you may proceed.
Okay, I am not aware of any agenda additions today unless you have any for us to consider today, Mr. Chair.
No, sir.
Okay, then moving forward, we are now at public comments where citizens who wish to address the committee are asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes, but this is the appropriate time. I know we do have a number of members of the public today who are here, but many are here for a specific agenda item following. So if at this time there is anybody else who is wanting to make public comments? Seeing none, we can move along and go to new business, where our first item today is to receive and discuss an update regarding the pickleball project.
All right, so at this point, I think it's prudent to this portion of the agenda with our administrator, Eric O'Brien.
Thank you, commissioners. Good, is it afternoon?
It's
there. So, we've had a lot of discussion about pickleball and a proposed pickleball project in South Shreveport. And what we wanted to do today is give you an update of really the next steps in the process. And part of those next steps will be issuing the bonds so that we can have the proceeds in order to be able to finance the cost of the project. Also, we'll begin the design process for the project. And so today we have brought our bond attorney and our financial advisor to talk more about what that process will be and how we're designing the bonds. As we told you when we're first having a discussion, those are just very preliminary. The vote that you all took was only to authorize the project. There was no actually identifying the bonds and what type of bonds and those types of things. So we're going to give you talk about the next steps, the timeline, and when that ordinance will come before you all to actually identify the bonds. And then also we'll just talk about the timeline for designing a project and bidding the project and those types of things. So I guess we'll begin with Mr. Grant Sluden, who's with Foley and Jadale, our bond attorney, and then we have with him. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Good. This is the afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Dee Dee Riggins with Government Consultants. You may know my partner, Mr. Danny Thompson. He couldn't make it this evening, so this afternoon. So I will be in this place, but we are honored to serve as your municipal advisor.
All right, thank you. And if I may just add this, just for clarity, so everybody kind of know where we are. The purpose of this agenda item in regard to the pickleball project is an information only item. We're not here today to make any recommendations. We're just here to receive information to get better informed as a commission and to better inform the public as to where we are within the process. Thank you. Appreciate you. May proceed.
Thank you. Grant Schluter with OEDL. We're a bond counsel and work closely with government consultants as financial advisor. The structure of the bond issue that we've been discussing with the financial advisor and with the administration is an issue of limited tax revenue bonds. This would be on a parity with equal lien on the constitutional millage. With your Series 2020 issue, you issued 9.8 million in bonds. You have authorization from the State Bond Commission for a total of 30 million. So that falls within this authorization. In extensive discussions with Erica, we realize there are revenues that will be produced from the pickleball facility and other available revenues, but the backstop of the constitutional pledge will get you continued very high bond rating and the very lowest possible interest rate. So that's the structure that we jointly are recommending to you. The procedure would be to start the process at the first meeting in November, sell the bonds in December, and deliver the bonds January 14th. The proceeds would be available for project costs.
Are you at a point now where you'd like to entertain any questions?
Absolutely.
All right, Commissioner Burrell was the first to raise it.
Yeah, Grant, you're talking about the interest on the bonds. Where do you project that to be, or we just have to wait and at that time it may fluctuate?
Well, we'll have to wait, but your financial advisor can tell you what the current market rate is, and particularly for what we would assume would be a continued AA plus rating, which is the highest in the state, and gets you the lowest interest rate on any particular date.
Yes, sir. So right now, we're seeing rates like right at 4.5%. We can expect you guys to kind of be in that range or maybe even better because the feds are going back to lower the rates. So hopefully, you know, the rates will be lower, but you already have an outstanding credit as well. So just hats off to that right there, with your administration and finance staying on top of everything. So as of today, we will assume a 4.5. We're hoping that it stays in that range as we get forward with pricing in December.
I know they're looking at other rate cuts.
Yes. Then, so typically in public finance, it's kind of reactive to when the feds drop the rate. So you may not see like that huge drop immediately, but they are meeting like in October, so it is possible that we will see that tick down some from that 4.5 that we're seeing now. So we'll just be in conversations with the administration and with finance as we get ready to price. And before we even lock in what the rate will be, we'll have like a post pricing call so that you guys can know what rate we will lock in. So we're not just going to say just take this rate. We'll be having conversations with the underwriters and the price to make sure it's kind of in that range that we want, really like you guys to be in.
Suppose you lock in a rate,
Yes, sir.
a certain rate, and bond, the feds go down, would you renegotiate the bonds if it's a more favorable rate, or you just leave it as it is?
Well, typically once you lock it in, you're kind of locked in. We rarely, I'm looking at Mr. Grant, usually once we go to the market. So when you're ready to go to the market, you go out to the public and just say, hey, we're selling bonds. And your underwriters will be having conversations and all, will be having conversations with us as well, with the municipal advisor and even with your bond attorney and even with your administration. We're all having conversations that day. So once we kind of get the proposed final numbers, we'll have those discussions with the group. And then typically we'll sign a bond purchase agreement, and that's when we're kind of locking in. But if being that it is a negotiated deal, that this is what we're approaching, there's room to negotiate. So in the event that like, if we feel like we need to go back into the market, we make a backtrack and do that. But if I had a crystal ball to tell you rates are gonna be dropping, I would probably be in another profession just because I could, see the future. But what we're projecting is that because of your credit, that 4.5 is a good way to assume what the rate will be. Yes, sir. Mhm. And we'll definitely be giving updates to the administration. And also, if we do see something happening in the market to where rates are going up, we will recommend maybe just sitting back and just waiting to go out to the market. So that's the good thing about doing negotiated deals, that you could kind of, if the rates do go up, you can just kind of sit back and wait to go and price the bonds. Yes, sir.
And we will have a conference call the day before the pricing. That afternoon, we'll have a discussion with the most recent numbers from the underwriters, reviewed by the financial advisor. So you'll have a very good idea the day before what you're looking at the next morning, if you decide to proceed with the pricing the next morning. So we'll have some advance notice.
Thank you for your question, Commissioner Burrell. Commissioner Young.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have two questions. The first one is, I'll just confess, when I was pushing this project, I often used the term revenue bonds. Maybe that's not completely accurate. You use the term limited tax revenue bonds. Could you explain to us what, if any, the difference is between those?
Yeah, a pure revenue bond would be payable from the revenues of the facility itself and nothing else. Perhaps in certain situations, a mortgage is possible. That is differentiated from a limited tax revenue bond, where we're actually pledging as a backstop the constitutional millage that you levy, which gives you the greatest security for the loan of the bond issue, and accordingly a significantly better interest rate.
I see. So if I can just rephrase, a revenue bond would only use monies that are paid and received from the project.
Correct.
And a limited tax revenue bond uses our other revenues as a guarantee
Correct.
beyond the revenues that would come from that.
Correct.
And
You
that
can
gives us
make
a better
overpayments payments with revenues or other sources, but the ultimate backstop and the security that the bondholders look for is the millage. And that gets you the extraordinarily high rating, bond rating, and a significantly lower interest rate.
Terrific. Okay,
And
thank you.
when Grant talks about our constitution, and that's our general fund.
That's right. Okay. And then my second question is, who buys the bonds? I've heard the phrase "go to the market" and also underwriters. And when I was making speeches in favor of this, I said that anyone from Shreveport to Hong Kong could buy these bonds. Please clarify and correct me if I was wrong. Who might buy these bonds?
I'll defer to the municipal advisor.
So it can be pretty much anyone to a certain extent. So someone in this area wants to purchase these bonds, and they work like with an Edward Jones or whatever, they could get with that financial advisor. Different type of financial advisor than I am. I can't give advice on that. I only give advice to parishes and municipalities. But they could contact them when we get ready to go out to market, and then they could purchase the bonds that way. So typically, whenever underwriters like an investment bank, they're the ones who sell the bonds, right? Because everybody has a role. Everybody's kind of by the federal rules. So typically, it could be an insurance company. It could be bigger banks, mutual funds, bond funds. It could be different type of people like that. It could be mom and pop down the street that wants to invest in Caddo. So it just depends on, who wants to spend money that day and wants to invest in the parish that day.
And it can be a local government,
Local government.
not traditional Louisiana. So we, for example, the parish, we have in the past bought municipal debt, not Louisiana debt. We bought other counties or something like that. Depending on we tend to buy very high rated bonds. We don't go in the B range, and so you can, for investment purposes, buy those bonds.
Okay, so let me just put it into my own words. We sell the bonds to investment managers or larger institutions, financial institutions, and then they sell them again to either huge institutions or individuals who are interested in supporting Caddo Parish through the bonds or just think we're a good bet.
That's a simple one.
Okay, all right. Well, those were my questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Young, for your questions. So, any other questions? Okay.
Well, if you all have any questions, please let us know. We've gotten, feedback about the bonds, and as we stated before, we have more information once you approve the project. So we're going to proceed with the schedule, working with both the municipal advisor and the bond attorney to get these to you all for that first meeting in November to begin the process. Did you see that?
Yes, thank you.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Cochran asked a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess my question is, again, I know you can't look into a crystal ball by no means. You told us 4.5, that's decent, that's real. At what point, looking at 4.5, would you actually start getting concerned, with it going up? At what point?
If we see people no longer, moving outside of their municipal spot. And also one thing we'll kind of look at is the revenues. The revenues are pretty strong. So if it is a little bit above 4.5, when I say the revenues are strong, just that sales tax, not sales tax, property tax, you guys, assess evaluation has been ticking upward. So that means 1 mil is kind of growing every year. So we still be in that range of what we would expect the parish to pay. But if it starts getting to where people are moving outside of the municipal market, we don't have any investors out there. If tariffs, because it kind of has an effect on the rates and all, that's when we'll probably be like, let's just see how this goes. But again, what we'll do is we'll have those pre-pricing calls just to get an idea of, okay, where's this rate? Is that rate at that 4.5 in that area in order for us to move forward? So if it starts ticking closer to 5, it's not a bad rate. Again, you guys' credit is pretty phenomenal. But that would be one of the main drivers, but we'll definitely be having conversations with the administration. So if it starts getting closer to that 5%, then we may want to pull out because we just feel like you guys deserve a better rate than that. Yes, sir.
And I guess just for those citizens that might be listening to this as well, the other thing is, if I understand the process accurately, even though it could possibly tick up, and at some point you would tell us, hey, pump the brakes, okay? That does not mean the project stopped. It just means at that particular time, let's wait and see what's going to happen with this.
The market.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Cochran. We'll just give you one more chance to close this part of our agenda out.
Well, that's on the bonds, and so then we have Lisa. I'm gonna let Lisa say her last name with TBA.
Frontora.
I don't want to mess it up, to just talk about the process for design and bidding and that type of thing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank y'all for letting me speak to you today. What we would like to do for this project, if it proceeds, is to do another CMAR, the Construction Manager at Risk. That's the same project delivery method that we're using right now for Walter B. Jacobs. And I think everyone has really enjoyed the experience. It seems like it's more successful than we even hoped it would be. I can tell you all the construction projects, this has been one of the most wonderful ones to be a part of from our perspective, and I know you all have as well as have been involved. So we would like to do a CMAR project. Doing that, right now I've mapped out what that would mean starting from essentially the last time we met. And right now, being conservative, it would be a 15-month process from where we are now to be able to start construction. So some of the things that go into that, there's right off the bat, there's a 2-month approval process where we have to send in letters for approval to the Senate and House Transportation Committees, and it takes about 60 days. So there's things that we'd be doing in that time just to keep the project moving forward. We'd be getting surveys done, we'd be getting soil borings done, things, kind of discovery info on the property to move the project forward design-wise. We'd be working with the parish to create requests for qualifications to send out for contractors, all of these things that we need to do while we're waiting for approval. I don't anticipate any issues in getting approved. It's a very simple process. The state just asks that if it's less than $15 million, that you request permission to do a CMAR project. So that's the only reason why we have to send in a letter and ask for permission. So right out of the gate, there's a 2-month waiting period while we wait for that. Then going through the sending out requests for qualifications to the contractors, it's the same exact process we did for Walter B. Jacobs. We publicly advertise those that we're doing this project. Contractors respond. We go through interviews following public bid law. And then a specifically selected committee per bid law will choose the most qualified contractor. That process takes about 3 months. So we're at 5 months right now. About a month to do all the contracts, and then for the contractor to do his initial pricing. So we price during CMAR, we price at 30%, 60%, and 90% design drawings. After we get his initial pricing, right now we've mapped out about an 8-month process to go through the architectural design of design development, construction documents, giving 30 days for the contractor to price those after each design phase. Once that's all done, of course, the timing just wants to hit right there mid-December, right before Christmas. So we anticipate from that, Christmas holidays and people being shut down, that for the month of January is when we will be doing contracts and getting the contractor to mobilize. So hopefully we could be breaking ground by 1st of February.
Which year?
27, thank you. Now this is conservative, but it is a lengthy process, and we've talked internally about doing what we can to shorten that as much as we can. Once the proper contractor gets selected and it's part of the team, we would be working with them to shorten that as much as we could for design. But to be on the safe side, I think this is a healthy timeline right now. Do y'all have any questions for me in terms of, I know questions about cost or timeline or anything I can help you with?
I just have one question.
Yes, sir.
To the extent that it's knowable at this point, what do you see as the level of involvement for local contractors?
We always welcome local contractors. We have some really good local contractors that I feel like would be, would have the right skill set to be able to take on this job in terms of general contractors. So I think there's every availability for them to participate and potentially get the project. In terms of subcontractors, it just goes back to them having the right qualifications, good references, because kind of like with Walter B. Jacobs, we want to make sure we have good, qualified, experienced people in order to stick to these timelines, so that we don't have someone in there that's not doing the quality work that needs to be done for the parish.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any questions? Commissioner Young?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've bet several other commissioners, but certainly myself, have design ideas for the project that are not perhaps major design ideas, but could improve it or make it more cutting edge or interesting. Are you all open to hearing those ideas, and when would be, or what would be the best setting to share them with you?
Yes, definitely. We find in our office, a more collaborative design ideas always come out with the best end product. So we would welcome any feedback any of you all have. This is supposed to be y'all's vision. We're the ones that just kind of help get it to what you guys want to see. So we would love to do that. And we could work with Ms. Bryant to figure out what time is best for you all to sit down and have some of those initial conversations. So before the contractor gets involved, we normally like to have the design up to about 30%, no more than that by law. So anytime probably in the next 6 months will be a great time to have those. Probably the sooner the better.
Terrific. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you for your question, Commissioner Young. Commissioner Burrell.
You had mentioned something about a selection committee.
Mhm.
Who would that be and who's comprised?
So the state, in order to do a public bid CMAR process, they have very specific requirements on who serves on that committee. And off the top of my head, the ones I remember is you have to have a licensed architect, but one that's not involved with the project, a licensed contractor, but one that's not going to be involved or eligible for the project. And I believe, Patrick, do you remember if it was, there's certain people from the client's side, a client team that has to serve on that committee as well.
Right, administration determines stuff, like, so Patrick is usually, since it's a parks project, Patrick is on the committee, myself, and,
We had Kevin Lawrence,
and we
the,
had our facilities team, and then the
Maurice.
rest are, outside folks.
I was just concerned about whether or not they would be statewide or local.
normally put out, we reach out to colleagues in terms of the architect and contractor, people that we know are experienced and that we value their opinion. But again, it's someone that's completely not related to the project, who has no stake in the game in terms of bias or anything. Sure.
Thank you, Commissioner Burrell. Anyone else?
So,
Commissioner.
thank you. So in reference to the, you putting out, and I'm gonna call it a bid for lack of better words, okay, putting out the bids, how would I, as a contractor, know what to be looking for approximately, and things of this nature?
So most contractors that do public bid work, they watch the papers. So we advertise this in the local papers. It'll advertise for a minimum of 30 days. So they'd be watching for that. And then, of course, we'll try to spread the word too, and you all can as well, to any contractors you know, to let them know to check the paper, look at it. And then normally we have a mandatory pre-bid. So any contractors that are interested have to come to that pre-bid, and only those that attend will be eligible to submit responses to the bid.
And like we did on Walter B. Jacobs, when we held a meeting for the local contractors, we advertised that, we put that out so that contractors, we had many that showed up. Some of them did not bid on the project, but we did host an event for local contractors. Most of that was for subs, not most of those that showed up were subs.
So it follows the same, basically the same public bid process of how contractors hear about public jobs.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I think a great deal of this project has to do with landscaping and concrete, pouring
Does.
concrete.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Well,
Administrative?
Well, we just, as we said when we were having many discussions on the project, and this is one reason why we wanted to get it going, because we know how long it takes, and I think it took us 5 months to get to this point in the game. So we appreciate the support, and as I stated before, we wanted to make sure we're giving you the information. We've had a lot of interest. We want to be transparent about the process. So thank you all, and we will continue forward and begin with our first item in November.
All right, thank you very much. I just want to extend a personal and professional congratulations to yourself and your staff, Director Wesley, and I really appreciate the presentation and the professionals that you've invited here today. I know that I'm better informed about this process, and I believe that the general public is better informed as well. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, I guess the one thing just sitting here, it would be beneficial for me and for my constituents if we could get like a summation, not lengthy, but just, like I said, time and dates concerning things. And if Jeff and administrator can do that, just this is what's happening, this is what's happening, this is what's happening, this is what's happening, and just strictly informational, like you said, going forward.
We can pull out that segment of the minutes and kind of do like a little separate memo that kind of highlights that segment of the minutes from this meeting.
Correct.
That'd be helpful.
Yes.
Right, I'm sitting next to our president, I did hear a clear throat, so.
Only averages.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Allergic to what though?
The next one too.
Well, thank everybody for that. Let's say our clerk, what's the next item on the agenda?
The next item we have is to discuss the Gardens of the American Rose Society's request to assist with their Christmas and Roseland, and I should say, I'm not sure, the Garden of the American Rose Society. Yes, I said that correctly. Good. I wanted to make sure. This is a follow-up. They did a presentation in one of your recent regular session meetings, and it was recommended to continue the discussion here in this committee.
Okay, I think this is in Commissioner Everson's district. Commissioner, would you like to take the lead on this discussion, or?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to recommend to this body that we would contribute 50,000 to this project. They've been with us since 1972, a good, strong economic engine. That area is growing exponentially. It would be a very good catalyst to continue that in the future. And I've also contacted some other individuals asking them for contributions also. So that's all I have.
Okay, well, thank you, Commissioner Everson. Let's see, you're with the American Rose?
So, yes,
Center
for Society. So I
Oh,
am
well,
with the American Rose Society.
yes, ma'am. Just for the record, if you introduce yourself, tell us who you are.
Allison Richardson,
Okay.
and I'm the interim membership director for the American Rose Society. Right now, the society is reorganizing, so we're still tied together. But while we restructure, we want to make sure that that our community does not feel the void left by our restrictions of being able to get things ready for Christmas in Roseland. So that's why we turned out to our community to ask for the assistance, and thank you so much for the support. I know that it's a tourist destination that I want to make sure that we retain and keep as we work through this process, so that, so thank you. Question?
Commissioner Cox.
Yeah, you know, and I'm sitting here, the Christmas in Roseland, I get it, okay, and I'm trying to go back to the initial meeting that we had, and if I remember correctly, there was like two entities, okay? And if I understood it correctly, one entity was making money, but the entity that wasn't was taking their money. And I'm trying to figure out, has there been any changes? Is there anything that?
So that process is, we're still working through that process to reorganize and have those distinct separate budgets so that we can make sure and carry on for our community and how it impacts. And about, Christmas in Roseland, we end up investing about $95,000 in our local community, making sure, with contractors and things like that. And so I know I want to make sure that we retain that here for my kids. Selfish mom like that. But then also our board for the overall society, they're over the whole United States. And so they don't necessarily see the direct impact to our community when we can potentially lose an economic driver like Christmas in Roseland.
And I guess I'm sitting here wondering, I get the Christmas in Roseland piece, I support that 100, okay, but I'm just wondering, after we get past Christmas, where do we go from there? Because the thing is, what is it we can do as commissioners to assist them, and maybe we can, I don't know, so they don't get caught up in this situation again, that's all. Because everything that I've heard is that they made the money, okay, but it's just the other side of the house is taking the money from them, which leaves them basically with very little to actually put on this extravagant event that they do every year. Am I correct?
So yes, there's discussions in about how the budgets are allocated. And so I know that the powers that be have been talking through that with attorneys and things like that to make sure, but when it's time, we want to make sure that we have a hearty presence and make sure that we protect ourselves against anything like this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Cox. Do you have a question, Commissioner Burrill?
Yes. These two entities that you're talking about and the one that's pulling away from you, are they actually separating themselves and will no longer be involved, or you're just looking at an apportionment, a better apportionment from that group to support your organization?
So the American Rose Society is looking to just have the rose gardens here, and then the society will carry on as two separate entities. I think right now we certainly just need to have two different budgets until we get through this process and all of the legal aspects are taken care of. But I also know that if we wait until it's all done, we're gonna lose some significant economic impact to our community with having to put pause on for the events. So that right now we have people who are working to make sure that they're forming the Rose Garden side of things. But the society, we're not separated yet, but they're working on that.
But when you separate,
There will
will they still be associated with you? It'll be just you all by yourself and they have gone.
So they are gone, they're their own separate entity. As far as I'm concerned, there could be other information.
So the gardens will be one thing, and the gardens, the physical space of the gardens will be one organization. And a separate organization will be the Rose Society, which is the membership-based organization that's national or
Y'all
international.
will still be working together.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you,
Yes,
Commissioner.
they're separate, but they are still separate.
Commissioner Young,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can I ask you, it's still not perfectly clear to me, maybe because I wasn't at the original meeting when you came or someone else came. What are the names of the two organizations that are dividing?
So the American Rose Society
That's the national one?
is the national one. Shreveport is the headquarters for the American Rose Society, and we are housed out at the gardens in Greenwood, and those are the gardens of America's Rose Gardens. So,
So the society is the national one, and what is the local one called? Or what will it be called when you separate?
I know that the attorneys are still working on that, and I'm limited in my portion. I'm here as a substitute today, so
Okay.
I can get you information once
That would probably be
they're able
helpful.
to do that.
So let's call it
America's Rose Gardens.
America's Rose Gardens, and then that organization will own the gardens that we're familiar with.
Right, they'll maintain the
They'll
gardens.
own and maintain the gardens, and if we write you all a check for $50,000, who will we be writing the check to?
So that entity, they are in the process of applying for the 501c3 and that name and information. And I know that that is a separate entity that I'm working. That is a separate entity, and we are. I only know so much. I do
Okay.
apologize.
Okay.
I'm here to help.
To help what I think is the question that some of you may be having, which is a very reasonable question.
Yes.
But I think that what I'm hearing is that if you were to make a decision to support Christmas in Roseland in the way that perhaps Commissioner Epperson recommended, you could allocate funding within this current year budget, and then it would still need to go through the legal process of identifying who the correct person is to contract with. So it would be like a cooperative endeavor agreement, like you do for other events. So some of that particular information that may not be available right now at this moment
And
would be taken into account before anything happens with the money.
right,
you know.
definitely before we put it taken. Also, in a not-for-profit accounting world, when you put a restriction on dollars, you have to use it for that. So they can't come, as what they're doing, what I'm understanding they're doing now is basically tying up funds, and you can't get those funds, and so you have an issue with the event. But if we're specifically restricting our funds, not-for-profit accounting, they have to restrict it for that purpose, and they cannot come and try to use it for something else. And we will make sure for our purposes that we're, that the entity is developed and that who we're signing with, and we will make sure from accounting standpoint, finance standpoint, that they understand that these money is specifically restricted for this event, not for anything else.
Right, and just to be clear, whatever they have going on over there at the Rose Center is really, in a way, it's kind of immaterial to the commissioners. We decide as to whether or not we feel that it's something that's worthwhile contributing to, but it's still, whatever money they receive or don't receive is still going to be subject to all of the legal and rule-based rigors that any other organization are subject to. Is that pretty accurate?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we need not be overly concerned about the machinations of that particular organization. And I
Donna's
can
not
appreciate it.
gonna let us cut the check until.
You know, what I'm saying is that we don't, the administration has to be overly concerned. We don't have to be overly concerned. But I do appreciate, you know, the questions because, you know, I'm concerned as you all are. But we just don't have to be exceedingly concerned about, you know, the granular details as to how it happens.
Mr. Chair, I have one more question.
Commissioner.
Thank you. So I was discussing with some of my colleagues a couple weeks ago about Christmas in Roseland. And I was aware, and so were they, that there is sort of a competitor event going on, another Christmas lights event in DeSoto Parish, which doesn't have roses, but Roseland one, the Christmas in Roseland doesn't, you know, particularly strongly feature the roses because it's in winter. Are you all interested in expanding your programming for seasonal events or holidays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, that would more prominently feature the roses? And I know many of us would be interested in helping to sponsor those events.
Yes, so getting to Christmas in Roseland, it is our biggest fundraiser, and so being restricted and not able to raise those funds puts any other events in jeopardy. So we definitely, that community involvement of various events throughout the year and making sure that we continue to have the space with different events and tied to the community. Easter is a big event as well in the past, and then fireworks show 4th of July. It has been something that's big in the past, but yes, we will to maintain and make sure that we continue to have wonderful events is what this is an investment in.
Okay, yeah, my concern is that because of the competition, it's possible that the fundraising capacity of Christmas in Roseland may diminish a little naturally over time. And like, if you're looking for support, generally, like I would love to support rose-centered events in the warm months, and you know, and see how Christmas goes.
Okay.
Just a thought. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Young. Commissioner Barrett. You had mentioned that, and maybe I misheard, you said that you all have applied for a 501(c)(3) that you separating two organizations. If you all are just applying for it, this money to go to that 501(c) once it's passed? I know it takes a little while for that to happen, or do you have one that the money can go to, but that's why we have to
So,
spend our money?
I apologize.
Go ahead.
I'm so ready to answer that question. So with restricted funds, we do have a 501(c)(3) through the American Rose Society currently. And so, yes, we do.
No problem. We have no problem.
We don't have a problem there as long as we can make sure and very specifically allocate those funds.
Thank you, Commissioner Barrett. Commissioner Thomas.
Hi, Allison. I may have missed it when I stepped out. Did you give an update on how much you guys were able to secure?
So we have secured 39,000 right now. And then I do know that there was another offer, but I'm not sure the exact amount on that yet because I need to hear back from our executive director. But yes, we're actually doing pretty well.
Okay, that was my concern. I just wanted to make sure that y'all were
Right.
getting the support that you needed.
Yes.
I know Commissioner Epson made a recommendation, but I didn't want it to be
Right.
still a continued gap in.
Right.
So, thank you.
Right. But just to be clear, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Commissioner Epperson probably is among several other commissioners that ask very little from his constituents, on behalf of his constituents, for any of this NGO money. Right now, I can't think of anybody. You may know somebody in this district that comes before the commission asks for money. So I think, given how much money is allocated on an average per commission district, I don't think 50,000 is a very big tax for the American Rose Center, given its importance in terms of our prominence as a parish, in terms of our objective to continue to impact on our citizens a better quality of life environment. And so I think this is consistent with, where we're trying to go as a commission. Did you have another observation, question?
No, I was just going to ask, do we need to make a motion to present it to the full body? So that's what I would like to do at this particular time.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Yes.
Second.
And what is your motion?
What Commissioner Epperson said, 50,000 to the road, whichever organization, proper organization.
To Christmas and Rose.
Yeah.
All right.
The motion is for
$50,000
for the Christmas and Roseland event for
Correct.
2025.
Correct.
Right,
All right.
and I second it.
You second?
Yes.
And that's, so this is a motion from Commissioner Cawthorn, seconded by Commissioner Gage Watts. And are we ready for a vote, or is there any
Yes.
additional discussion? Okay, Commissioner Greg Young.
Yes.
Commissioner John Atkins is absent. Commissioner Ed Lazarus.
Yes.
Commissioner Victor Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner John Paul Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Roy Burrell.
Yes.
Commissioner Ron Cochran.
Yes.
And Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries with 7 yeses, none in opposition, and there is 1 absent. Okay, that brings us to the next item on the agenda, which is your final new business item today, and it is a somewhat of an umbrella item to accommodate for some ongoing discussion that you may have had on ongoing economic development related initiatives, and it's just to continue discussion and updates on other parish economic development related initiatives.
Okay, more specifically, this is a recommendation that I'm asking for these funds to be included in our budget. We don't have it all etched in stone at this point, but as you know that we have organized a film and entertainment advisory board, and consistent with those interests and activities that we want to roll out in 2026. I'd like to have a recommendation for $270,000 that can be set aside for those efforts. These efforts will be parish-wide, and without getting into the details, because we like to first deliver a baby before we name it, and before we start constructing the room. But just very briefly, without giving away too much at this point, I want to ask Patrick if he can just kind of give us the very skinny of skinnies on what we are looking at.
Thank you, Commissioner. We, the Parks and Recreation Department, in conjunction with the Film and Entertainment Committee, looking at a parish-wide talent search, Caddo Got Talent type of talent search, parish-wide for youth 6 through 19. And we have had some very early preliminary discussions with some talent consultants, media consultants, and referencing how to facilitate that on a high level. And we just had some preliminary conversation also with the administration and the committee chairman about how we possibly need to do that. And still, as Commissioner, as the chairman mentioned, we are very early in the preliminary stages, but we are looking at a parish-wide talent search, but to do it on a large national scale type. And it's going to provide some resources, some professional consultant talent, professional services to do that. And that's where we are today.
Thank you very much. Did you have anything that you wanted to add or contribute to this, Madam Administrator?
Just that, in talking to Patrick and just preliminary costs for, just kind of give you an idea of not the details of the event, but where the costs are just, you got production costs, you got prize money, you're talking about multiple events with a big events culminating. So we have to have those individual events, and that's some of the costs, marketing the event, making sure people are aware of it, those types of things. So that's what some of the costs are. But administration is fully supportive, and hopefully we can come back to you all soon if we have a recommendation with more information.
Commissioner Barrett.
So the 270 is a ballpark figure based upon any projected budget or preliminary budget, is what.
It's like a
Yeah.
preliminary budget.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It may not cost all of that,
May
but we
not
want to
cost.
make sure.
Right, but we'd rather have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Also, as part of the talent show activities, is that we also have a very strong interest in developing a parish-wide mass choir. Our intention is to make Caddo Parish one of the epicenters on this planet for film and entertainment. I think it would do a lot in terms of branding our parish and creating some excitement. You all know, just about everybody here knows that we're losing over 100 people a month. And most of these people are young people, and many of our very best and brightest are leaving. And so it does have a direct economic impact on the future of this community. We're growing older and we're growing poorer as a community. And so, you know, those of us who've been involved in economic development and with this film and entertainment advisory board, and many folks outside of this perimeter, you know, are very, very excited about our future prospects. Let's see, who was first? I'm sorry. Commissioner Thomas.
I was prepared to make a motion.
Okay, I had a question.
Okay.
Christine, you had a question.
You're on the committee, so.
I was wondering, what's the theoretical target number of participants in this set of events?
It'll be in a series of phases. We'll have, maybe the first round will be they'll send a video in to the actual committee. And then we'll narrow those down to some of the top 50 in the parish. And then we'll start having those auditions parish-wide. It'll be like a 6-month process. It won't be just one event. It'll go from the 1st of February, early March through June. And then we'll have the finale possibly at one large venue, Convention Center Strand, Festival Plaza. So it'll kind of crescendo up from February, March through June, and then have one big national talents finale with the top 8 or 10.
And
We'll do that at one.
the talent is film
The talent.
or any
Yeah,
talent?
it'll be music, dance, poetry. It'll be a variety of talent.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And if I just may say this, in terms of the film component that is involved in this, it would be the cinematography that is derived from these activities. You know, some of what we had imagined, and of course.
Like the TV show version, America's Got Talent, on top of the talent.
Brother, this is gonna be world class. This ain't gonna be Gregory and Victor now. This is gonna be something very special.
Although that sounds like a name for a band. It sounds like I'd listen. Greg and Victor, I'm not.
Anybody else before we? Okay, Commissioner Gracie.
It's gonna be Storm and I run it. We got it. Okay, so this is very exciting to hear. Are y'all going to be working with Caddo schools as well? I know they have the talented arts, and then the choirs throughout the Caddos, our schools are pretty phenomenal. And was just wondering if y'all would be kind of partnering, and I see yes, so it's
I want to
awesome.
direct that
Yes,
question.
we'll be working with
Yeah.
the schools.
Yeah,
We'll be there, put their venues.
Right.
We're hoping that we can do several rounds of
Right.
talent searches within the schools.
Okay, so, okay, and so this is, I just know that they're, within the entertainment, this is, I think, very exciting. We have like film prize going on, but I love that we will have a footprint involved. And the film part, am I hearing correctly that y'all want to set up a program that then people will be working, creating film, directing together with this process? The film entity to this would be working with the talent and using those resources to teach. Okay, so that's how that's gonna work. I think that's incredible. That's very incredible, and I think very timely with, society in general of where we're going with technology, and we see the opportunities outside of just right here. And I think also some movement within Caddo Parish. So I think it's very timely. It's, I'm excited to learn more. Thank y'all.
Yeah, Commissioner Cobb?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The thing is, what we have to remember collectively is that this initiative started back probably almost a year ago, to be very forthright. And the thing is, it's coming to fruition at this particular time, and everybody have a piece of this pie. Even though Patrick might be the front runner and Greg might be the chair of this particular area, nothing is so solidified that we can't add to or take away from if it's gonna blow it up even more. And that's what we have to remember, because I can just share with you, since the inception of this idea, the number of people that I've ran into that are gifted, young people that have come, that was born and raised here, left, went other places, and have come back home and are wanting to do things like this is just phenomenal. And as I see it right now, this thing could really, really take off. I'm not gonna get up there and sing, not by no means, but the point being, again, we even have commissioners that can truly, truly sing, okay? You'd be surprised, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. No, not the one time I
Thank you so much.
I wasn't talking about you. But the point being, again, as the community catch this and get on fire about it, because I don't think any one of us, and I don't care what church you go to or have been to or whatever the case might be, I've never walked into a church, and I don't care what ethnic group, what denomination or whatever, that didn't just blow my mind, because they always had at least one that just blew you away in that. And just using it as a base from there. But again, we have a lot of people to do a lot of things here, and we just need to be able to say, come on, let's get it done and run on down the road with it. Thank you.
Really appreciate that. I just like to say, just for the the historical importance of this, is that in order for this to be truly successful, it is an idea. It is a pregnant idea that really needs to be born within the administration, because these efforts are going to be ongoing long after our tenure is over. We are foundational in that it's this iteration of the Caddo Parish Commission that has established this concept as something that can move our community collectively forward. But in order for it to survive and flourish as a viable idea, it has to be something that's embedded within the administration and not given to the whims of people who are in and out, because we do know that political concerns do change over time, priorities do change over time. But those ideas that tend to be built upon and improved and modified and adjusted over time are the ones that generally proven to be the most successful. And so, one day Patrick, the talent, and I would just like to say here publicly that the incredible talent that Patrick has and commitment he has to Parks and Recreation. As he's here, he's transferring his knowledge and his skills and talents, to members of his staff. And they see the work that he's doing. And he's infecting the people, that he himself and Ms. Bryant are hiring to work in that department. And so I really do believe that this is something that really has legs moving forward. But I want to thank, each one of my colleagues, for help pushing this idea forward. And like Commissioner Cochran said, it's not who who thinks of something, but it's who is able to execute something. And you all have been an integral part of that, and I thank you for it. So do we have a motion to recommend?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to allocate $270,000 for the 2026 budget to the Parks and Recreation Department.
Second, say up to 270,000.
Excuse me, I'll rephrase that, up to 270,000, and if I can get another second. I'll
Second.
I just want to say I really appreciate this, much like Commissioner Cochran. I know you really worked hard on this concept. I'm really excited to see it come to fruition. As we are working, like you said, with this iteration of the Caddo Parish Commission, while we're working to become a destination location, I think it's very important for us to make foundational investments. I do believe that this is one of them, among many more. I think that things like this really benefit our community more or less in the long run. It highlights talent and what we have here now, but it also serves as a beacon to attract more talent. I'm very proud to serve on the Film and Entertainment Commission, and I can't wait to share some more ideas to where hopefully we may have to allocate some more funding towards Parks and Recreation for the future. Because our community is definitely working. So thank you so much for bringing this forward, and I'm ready to vote this.
Discussion, Commissioner.
Just for clarification, can we make that in the Economic Development Fund for the
The allocation and the Economic
in the
Development
Economic
Fund.
Development Fund for the events related to the film advisory? We'll just have it as special programs in economic development, not
Thank you.
specifically parks.
It's only
You wanna
seven.
make that- Is that okay?
No, it's perfect.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, Madam CEO. Somebody has a question, anybody just wanted to comment on the motion? Okay, so the motion was recommended was moved by
We've got a
Thomas, it was seconded by,
seconded by Commissioner John Paul Young and Storm Gage Watts, both enthusiastically. And it was a recommendation to budget up to $270,000 for Film and Entertainment Committee activities in the Economic Development Fund. And if there are no more questions, we'll take a roll call vote. There's the Commissioner Bodell.
oh, I apologize, yes. No, I'm, go ahead, my brother.
No, I just want to say that although I'm not a part of the committee, trying to keep up with it, having some history in dealing with trying to develop entertainment, film, both from the local and the state level, we lost a lot because we did not have the foresight to develop that entertainment culture here in Shreveport. We lost the hayride. Well, the hayride is here, but Grand Ole Opry and that type of thing to Nashville for the very reason that we did not invest into our talent that we had here. Many of our folks had to leave and go to Nashville to be discovered. And this may be an opportunity to revive something that people have only been talking about, never putting any money toward it, to try to get it revived.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And just for clarification in the minutes, I did want to just make sure that when Commissioner Burrell stated that he wasn't a part of the committee, he is referring to the Film and Entertainment Advisory Board Committee, which is accurate. It's a subcommittee of this group, but
I'm on that.
but he's on this committee, but not on that committee. So I just wanted to make, and he knows that, but I'm saving that for the audience, basically.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would just like to say I am in full support of this initiative. I want to thank you for your hard work in making sure that the ad hoc committee has had intensive conversations about how this could move forward. Music is a universal language. Of course, we believe in our youth because we know that they are our future. And we know that this is one of the things that brings all people together. And that's very important for us to continue to be the destination location that we dream about, and we're gonna see it become a reality. I'm very proud of our Director of Parks and Rec, who is helping to take on this initiative. We know that people are already in line. I think I started asking about it in April. Are we ready to roll it out? Because there is so much talent that is here in Shreveport, Louisiana, in Caddo Parish, and that we're very proud of. And we know that it's going to create the platform that a lot of people have been longing to stand on. So we are grateful to be able to take the lead on this initiative. Looking forward to seeing it come into total fruition. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for your comments, Madam President. Okay, you
Ready for a vote? Commissioner Greg Young
Yes.
and Commissioner John Atkins is absent. Commissioner Ed Lazarus.
Yes.
Commissioner Victor Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner John Paul Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Roy Burrell.
Yes.
Commissioner Ron Cawthorn.
Yes.
And Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts.
Yes.
That motion carries with 7 in support, none in opposition, and 1 absent. And that brings us to the end of our agenda.
Right, I just like to say this, I'm sorry.
Ken behind.
Who's ready to move
Okay,
to it?
Ken,
I just want to close the comment before you end.
before we end, you can do it.
Okay. I want to ask the administration, do we have to go through the standard process to distribute the funds to Road Center? Could we do it like maybe a sort of emergency, because I'm pretty sure you have a timeline that you need to be working on.
Yes.
We're gonna work to get it out as fast as we can. I think the biggest hiccup is their legal issues right now, and making sure that they,
And
can have all that outlined before now. From y'all's timeline, y'all will vote on this probably at your, first meeting in November. But we'll go ahead and start the legwork.
thank you.
And I'd just like to mention also, I had requested 20 out from another group. They did not have a quorum the other day, so hopefully they'll call a special meeting
That's just for introduction.
Well, now that you've rescheduled your meeting for Thursday, we can go ahead and introduce it by title this Thursday and then vote on the second meeting in October.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Everson pointed that out.
Okay, I just like to say this in closing before we go. I'd just like to recognize, these 3 leaders that I feel that has really, been just incredibly instrumental in moving this version of the Caddo Parish Commission forward, and that is John Paul Young was our president last year. And I think it was very important, the tenor that he set. And of course, our president, Stormy Gage Watts. Just incredible, the work that you've been doing. And it's just so important. It's just makes me feel so warm to be part of this body with the kind of leadership, that you can provide. And also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the incredible, extraordinary leadership that our CEO has been providing. She wears so many hats. I don't know how she does it, but she keeps it all together. And I think that this particular version of the Caddo Parish Commission will go down in history as one of the most consequential bodies that this area has seen since the 1840s when it was first founded. And I'm just so proud to be a part of itself. And thank the 3 of you all.
Thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, could I have your attention momentarily? The Public Safety Committee meeting, I would like to, there aren't any action items on it, basically information. So I would like to cancel that if it wouldn't be.
Okay, we can send it updated notice.
We can, everything will be Thursday.
Okay, you want to reschedule it?
No, I just want to cancel it all together.
Okay.
I think basically what I had there, I can bring it up on the communiques.
Perfect. Thank you. We'll make sure I do that.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. National night out. I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow night. National night out.